Hey everybody, this is the Smoke Meat Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pittman. Smoke Meat is brought to you by Joe's Underground at the corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia, down in the bottom of the Lamar Building. Joe's, this is a great place. Jeremy and the gang just make sure that you feel so at home there. Very family feeling, you know. When you walk in there, you feel like you've been in there 100 times already. Great food, great drinks, great people. You know, I goes to Joe's and so should you. Corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia. Today, my guest, very, very funny guy. I mean, I'm not sure how I'm going to hold this together. He is just awesome. He's been on everything. You know, he's written for everybody. He's written for the Oscars. Without further ado, we're going to go on ahead and get this thing kicked off with Mr. Bruce Vilanch. Hey, how you doing today, Bruce?
I'm moderate to heavy. How are you?
Oh, any better, I'd be twins. Yes,
like
indeed.
everybody else, I'm hunkering down. I'm self-isolated. I'm quarantina.
Quarantina, nice.
Quarantina Turner, my new drag name.
That is beautiful. Yeah, we've been talking about the new baby names that are going to be out when this thing's over, and my favorite one that I've thought of is Quarantine.
Oh, I'm sure there are some already.
Oh yeah.
I actually know somebody named Corona, a Latin lady, and I think she's very busy entertaining name changes right now. There's a town out here, Corona, California, which we used to make jokes about for other reasons, but but I think now they'll probably go in for a name change too.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. You know, that's kind of like being Charles Manson Pittman. You know, if that was my name, I would have to change that a little bit.
I'm from Paterson, New Jersey, and which is famous for things like Hurricane Carter and my high school principal, Jolton Joe Clark, with the baseball bat.
Oh, nice.
And across the river was East Paterson, and East Paterson's a nice suburban kind of town. Mm-hmm. And they were, many years ago, they were seething that Paterson was sinking lower into the muck, that like some of it was getting on them. And so they said they wanted to change the name, and they said, let's change it to Kennedy, because he was very popular then. And so they petitioned to change the name to Kennedy. And they found that they were in a court with another New Jersey town that was Garfield. And Garfield wanted to change their name to Kennedy because they were in a similar situation. And the judge said to Garfield, I'm dismissing the case because you are already named after an assassinated president.
Nice.
And they didn't know that in Garfield. They thought they were named after a cat. They had no idea. So East Paterson got it, and then the Kennedys said, if it's just the same, we have a lot of Kennedy cities around. We don't need another Kennedy city. So they became Elmwood Park. It's not a blockbuster joke, but it's a true story.
Well, Paterson, that's where the Sopranos were set.
Where the what were set?
The Sopranos.
The Sopranos, partially Paterson. It was they were a lot in where the hell? I thought it was like in Newark or Hoboken or
may have been Newark.
It could have been. It wasn't a big mafia town then. Maybe it is now. I don't know. It was a little different. But all of North Jersey was like Sopranos territory, no question about it.
Yeah, I think
but it's famous mostly for the crimes that happened there.
Yeah, I think I'd have been
famous for other things, but then all these movies were inevitably crimes. Mm-hmm. And then there was a movie called Paterson last year with Adam Driver playing a bus driver named Paterson who lived in Paterson. Uh-oh. So it was driver playing a driver. And at that point I had to check out.
Nice. Your mind is, I thought I had a quick mind. Nope, you've got me beat.
Oh, I'm not a well person, but that's okay.
Oh, if you could walk around in my head for about 5 minutes, you'd come out and go, what the hell?
What was that all about?
shit. Kubrick was on acid when he made this guy's head. Oh, man. But,
Eyes wide shut.
But yeah, you have written for just about everybody and everything, haven't you? I mean, I was doing some research and looked down. I'm like, holy shit!
Quite a lot of people over the years. They made a movie about it about 20 years ago. It's called Get Bruce, and it was produced by Harvey Weinstein, who never laid a hand on me.
Oh, you better.
I'm going to have a button. # Why Not Me.
I'm surprised there's not a T-shirt because you've got the most phenomenal T-shirt collection I've seen.
I have a whole lot of T-shirts.
Yeah.
I started, when you have a body like this, you have to show it off. So I decided, since I live in LA where you can go anywhere in a T-shirt, I decided I would just make that my sort of signature.
Yeah.
And then when I was on Hollywood Squares, they would send me T-shirts, most of them obscene. They'd say, I hope you can wear this on the show, and it would be like totally filthy. And I have a collection of those. I have a lovely the Home for Aged T-shirts in the San Fernando Valley, which is where we moved them all. The bidder assistant has moved all of those shirts to a safe, undisclosed location. And he keeps saying to me, you're an eBay sale waiting to happen. And someday.
Oh,
someday. Find a lot of XXL people who need shirts.
Oh, man, just XXL, man. I was fixing to say I'm triple XL. Yes, I'm such a small fella. Yep.
In fact, oh my God, I never said tell this story, but some years ago, a friend of mine turned 40, and his wife, he was a rock and roll manager, and his wife threw him a gigantic party. It was one of these huge parties at Beverly Hills where they lived, and many food stations and everything. And when we left, we all got gift bags. And in the gift bag was a T-shirt that said, Oy vey, I can't believe it, Michael is 40. And so I brought it back home, and it's sad. I never wore it. And the assistant was going through T-shirts to give to Goodwill, and he said, you'll never wear this, you might as well get rid of it. So we got rid of it. We sent it off to Goodwill. About 6 months later, it was 4 o'clock in the morning, I was watching TV, and there's Sally Struthers in Africa, surrounded by native children, and she's doing a pitch for a charity. This is Bezway, he hasn't eaten in 3 months, and she's trying to get people to, she's doing a good deed. And I'm looking at these kids, and Bezway, who hasn't eaten in 3 months, is wearing a T-shirt that says, Oy vey, I can't believe it, Michael is 40. So after the sun came up, I called Sally, and I told her this story. Because I thought the odds of that being anybody else's shirt but my shirt are so slim. And I told her the story, and she said, I was wondering where he got that shirt. There are no T-shirt shops in the village.
Well, they damn well should be.
You do a good deed, and it comes back to you.
Hey, it gives you a warm fuzzy.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Question about it. The T-shirt would by that point anyway.
You got my kind of luck. You're like, I'm going to get rid of this, and all of a sudden, boom, Sally Struthers interviewing the kid with it. And she was so dramatic in those commercials. It was awesome.
Oh, I know.
I remember those.
Sam Kinison used to do a routine that was horrible about Sally. He said, just get her out of the way and give the kid a sandwich from your purse. It's terrible.
I used to love Sam. My favorite thing is move where the food is.
Hysterical and horrible at the same time. And she, but, he's gone. He's gone and she's around.
Yeah. Well, they diagnosed her with flesh-eating disease, and they gave her 27 years to live. That was so mean.
That's all right. Now, is there a club in Fayetteville where you work out?
There is not. We've got a bunch of them in Atlanta, and
yeah, I know. I've never. I've done a bunch of benefits in Atlanta, but I've never actually done. I don't do comedy clubs. I'm not a club comic.
Yeah.
I tell stories, and it's a different energy. what I do. So I only do it when I know people are coming to see me, as opposed to being on stage with a lot of other people who are, really funny. And people who are going to a comedy club, they're going to like for an evening of comedy, and that's not necessarily what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, but
I know Atlanta's got some great spots where people break stuff in, and headliners come, I guess.
Yeah, there's some really good places up here. I've not gotten on stage in a while. Back around October, November, I started doing little videos. I started making little characters up.
Oh, that's good.
All of them are actually improv, and all of them are one take. I never know who the character was going to be until I put the wig or the mustache or whatever on, and then that character was born. Except for one character, and his name is Murray, and Murray is a clown.
Yeah.
He's not your average clown. This is Murray's voice. Oh yeah. And I actually used to teach fire safety as a clown. I'm certified as a clown. And that was my first clown. But the voice lends itself to cussing so easily. I just didn't want to get up in front of a bunch of kids and go, "Don't play with fire, you little bastards." Probably would have been good. But Murray is so terrible on these videos. I actually did a 30-minute Christmas special with him and 3 of my other characters around Christmas time. But yeah, you can check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. It's Brad's Comedy, all one word, no apostrophe. But I've got to where I like doing my characters, and I like doing the podcasts. And I've been helping a bunch of young comics that ask me for a little bit of guidance, and I've been kind of guiding them along, and I'm enjoying that.
Great. That's all you need, as long as you're happy doing it.
Yep.
And at the same time, you're saving lives.
Yeah, I am.
I'm coding people.
We're doing a little bit of everything, man. I'm a full-time paramedic and elbow deep in this COVID thing, which sucks, but it is what it is. If people just have some common sense, do what you learned when you were a kid, wash your hands and don't touch people, probably be okay.
That's perfectly right.
Yeah.
Wear a mask and
exactly. How are y'all dealing with it out there? I know you're quarantining. Miss Quarantine Turner.
Yeah. Are you guys quarantined? Do you have stay at home and all of that?
We do, but the governor has actually opened a lot of businesses back up.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Well, supposedly Friday, a couple of we go into phase 2, which means certain businesses will reopen, and I guess parks and beaches and things like that will be more open than they are. Yeah, I've been very lucky because I've been home and writing and Zooming and doing all of that stuff and communing with the dog. And it's been fine. Food gets delivered, and I'm just really lucky. And we're waiting to see what the next step is. The other shoe drops, all that stuff. Because there's a lot of development in show business. There are a lot of meetings going on, Zooming and phoning, and things being written and all that. But nothing can be shot, and nothing can be done live until they figure out how they make that work. How reducing capacity is going to work, not just for the pandemic, but economically. So, meanwhile, Netflix is making money hand over fist because people are sitting home and watching everything.
Yeah, I have watched stuff.
Binging on everything, watching 72 hours or something.
Yeah, I've been watching stuff that before I just pass on, and now I'm like, well, do I really want to watch Breaking Bad for the 50th time? Because that's my go-to if I can't think what to watch. And I watch something else, I'm like, holy crap, that was good, and I just go down that rabbit hole.
Absolutely right.
I've been watching Bigfoot movies lately. And I have found...
Are there many of those?
There are a few. I found one that was really good. Bobcat Goldthwait actually did it. And, yeah, Willow Creek.
I know. I knew him, yeah. I know him. I'm sorry, sticking with Sam again. Yes, I know Bob. He was on Hollywood Squares a lot.
Yeah.
We liked having him on. He's really funny. And I worked on a movie with him that was not a success, about a talking horse.
Yeah, Hot to Trot.
Hot to Trot.
Yep.
I worked on that. I was one of the many writers. I get called in a lot on movies to work on stuff.
Yeah.
And to throw jokes at it and whatnot. And that was one.
Yep. I remember
he made
that
a picture. Was it with the clown movie with Florence Henderson?
Shakes the Clown.
Shakes the Clown, yes.
Yep.
Which was, of course, a great punchline for comics for years.
Yeah.
Because it was his passion project, and it didn't really pan out the way he wanted. And Florence and I used to chuckle about it. Because Florence wrote the Brady Bunch Variety Hour that Florence was on, and we became great friends after that. And then I wrote for her concert act, which she did up until the very end.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine she seemed like she was just such a great person because
she was fantastic, and she was nothing like Carol Brady, and that was the demon of her life was that people thought she was Carol Brady.
Yeah.
And it was she had taken that job because she wasn't going to be a movie star, and she had kids, and she didn't want to go back to theater because she didn't want to move everybody back to New York. And so she took this job, and I don't think she ever thought it would become what it became. Not just the endless cash cow that it became, but the image changer. But she rolled with it. What can I tell you? She was very smart.
Hey, she's America's mom, that's for sure.
I know, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember coming home from school every day at 4 o'clock. Sit down and turn on the Brady Bunch every day.
So yeah, in reruns, that's where it really lived because it was on ABC for years and nobody noticed it.
Yeah.
It was the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family back to back, and it had an audience, and then that was fine. And then they started showing it in reruns, and it became this landslide thing. It's like it's still on in reruns. Amazing. Partridge Family didn't happen that way. Partridge Family kind of slowly faded away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were like twins, They were companion pieces. The audience that was watching them would watch the whole hour. So, and I did one of the many revivals of the Brady Bunch.
Oh man.
And there have been like an untold number of revivals of the Brady Bunch.
Oh man, it could be. You see, I just now had an idea for a series. It's not really a revival.
Sorry?
I have an idea for a series now, and I just thought of it. It's not really a revival of the Brady Bunch, but you can star a grown-up version of Oliver.
Oh, Cousin Oliver, you mean, or Oliver Twist?
Cousin Oliver.
Cousin Oliver, yeah, that was their shark jumping moment.
Oh, they jumped and landed on the top
They
of
all
Cousin
acknowledged
Oliver.
when they brought in Cousin Oliver. That was the beginning of the end of the original series.
Oh yeah.
And I could be Cousin Oliver today, absolutely. I don't know where that actor is, that kid, but I could certainly be.
Robbie Rist. I hadn't seen him in a long time.
Robbie Rist, that's his name.
Yep.
I don't know. I want to play Stewie Griffin.
Oh,
I look
man.
too much like Stewie Griffin not to play him.
Oh man, and I look kind of like Peter. That's right.
Well, I look like him too, but Stewie, at least I got the blonde going, so
Yeah.
it's a closer resemblance. But Seth MacFarlane plays all of those characters. I have a feeling if they ever do a live-action Family Guy, he will play all the characters.
Yeah. Have you ever watched his
and
videos?
Alex Borson will play one of them, two of them. I don't know.
Have you
But
seen
he'll play
the
everybody.
videos of him doing graduation speeches?
He loves doing that.
Oh man, he is so great.
He's very, very talented. He's very clever. I love that show.
Yeah. Have you seen the videos of him doing graduation speeches?
No.
Oh, go down that rabbit
I
hole.
should
It's
check
amazing.
that out.
It is amazing to have Peter and Stewie do your graduation speech.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, is that like a COVID thing? That because the ceremonies are canceled, that now they're doing virtual graduation speeches?
Oh no, he actually would go out. I mean, schools would invite him, and he would go. Colleges.
Seth goes.
Yeah.
And he does the voices?
Yeah, he does the
As
voices.
himself, he does the voices?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I didn't know that.
It is phenomenal.
Wow. my graduation was canceled at Ohio State because it was the same day as Kent State. We had the National Guard, but they didn't fire on us.
Yeah.
But there was the campus got shut down and never reopened. that quarter, and they canceled our graduation. And Walter Cronkite was the speaker, which was a big deal. I wonder if he got a kill fee because they had to cancel it.
Man.
It's not exactly Seth MacFarlane, but it's something.
Hey, it works. It works. Now coming to the stage.
And that's the way it is, Ohio State.
You're going to go out into the real world now.
Buckeyes, that's right. See you at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, man. Yeah, we was talking about the Brady the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family. I tell you who I would just straight love to have on this show is Danny Bonaducci. I think Danny would be so awesome.
I haven't seen him in a long time, but we were neighbors at one point, and I always liked him. And he was on Hollywood Squares. We brought all those people onto Hollywood Squares who had TV series when we were kids, or when we were young, and he's terrific. Yeah. He's like a DJ in Phoenix. Is that?
I know at one point it was
something like that happened. I think that's what. I don't know. I have sincerely lost track.
Yeah.
But I just did this a very Brady renovation, where they bought the house.
Yeah.
And they came in and they turned it into the Brady house, the house that they used the exterior of on the original show. And I came in and did a thing with Barry Williams. It wound up being an outtake that they showed on the outtake show.
Mm-hmm.
But it was about a number that we had done on the Brady Bunch Variety Hour. So the thing will not die. I mean, you cannot beat it with a 2x4.
Oh, you can't.
It's just you can't. It's there. It's in the public conscience.
Yes, it
won't
is.
Go away.
It's in our DNA now.
In the consciousness. Yeah. Now it's in the DNA, exactly.
I think he would be a fun guest.
Ancestry.com will be identifying. You're 82% Brady Bunch.
and the other 12%, well, more than 12%, but other 18%, my math is not great. Georgia Public Schools, hoorah, is brisket.
That's brisket.
But yeah, I think Barry Williams would be a fun guest to have. I think so.
He is a great guy.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
A lot of those kids, the kids, they were young enough that it branded them forever, and nobody got out alive. It's not like Mark Wahlberg, who people have finally stopped calling Marky Mark, and who is a big enough movie star now that they don't remind him that he was in a boy band or any of that stuff. That has not happened to any of the Brady kids. They are now and forever Bradys.
The neat thing about Barry is he has embraced it. He has leaned into it.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
It's you can't fight it, so you might as well own it. And he wrote a book and all that. But I mean, given his druthers, he would be Hugh Jackman. He'd be a singing, dancing action star.
Nice,
But it could never happen because he was Greg Brady.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman came from Australia, and so they figured anything he likes to do, he's a little odd to begin with because he's Australian. So they've forgiven him anything that would be out of the action hero mold. And in fact, now of course he's a big musical star. So
I did not know that.
But he didn't have that, and he didn't have that stigma. He didn't have that thing that attached to him that wouldn't let go.
Yeah.
Let his mother worry about it.
Exactly. So I remember when you when the Celebrity Fit Club was out. How was that? I've read good and bad on that.
That was a nightmare. I had just finished doing 2 years of Hairspray on Broadway and on the road, and I came. So I wasn't that. I don't think I was that heavy for me, but we got into the thing, and it was unlike The Biggest Loser. This was a show full of people in show business. I mean, various levels of celebrity.
Yeah.
And some of them had a few pounds to lose. Some of them had a lot of pounds to lose. But we had all been to the rodeo before. It wasn't like we were suddenly celebrities, and before that we'd been like shop clerks. And they thought that they would use all of those reality show techniques. They would come in and say, "Ooh, so-and-so said thus and such about you. How do you feel about that?" They like to get you angry because it made for good television when the cameras started rolling. But that's because the people who they did that with had no separation from when the cameras were rolling and when they weren't rolling. We knew. And I kept saying to them, "What do you want? Tell me what you want, and I'll give you what you want. But don't try and fake some emotion on me."
Yeah.
And they weren't thrilled with that because they'd never had that before. So it was very difficult because you were constantly slapping them down, and you knew that if you didn't cooperate, they would edit you to make you look like the worst person in the world, big person in the world. So it's I like the people who I met on it, but I like Chastity. Did I talk about Chastity before?
You have not.
I had not. Well, Chastity Bono, who was now Chaz Bono, she was Chastity then. I'd known her since she was a baby. She was my team captain, and Kelly LeBrock, who I'd known for years, was a lot of, and there were a lot of rappers, and they were fun to get to know. But it was. And we had genuine drama. I mean, Jeff Conaway had an actual meltdown, and he was in very bad shape, and he died of an addiction. Not that he didn't get there; he came in with it, but it was that was like genuine drama, and they were trying to cook up all this fake drama, and it was pretty awful. But what was funny to me was they after 2 weeks they came at me with a waiver in the contract saying that they wanted me to sign that they wouldn't be responsible if I was injured, and I wouldn't sign it. and they said, "Well, we can't pay you until the end of the show." I said, "Fine," which kind of stunned them because they were used to working with people who, lived in trailer parks and would do anything to be on television.
Yeah.
And the Mama Junes of the world before they become Mama June. And they were not used to working with people who were actually in show business. So I did the rest of the thing, and of course what I bought for myself was an exemption from all the really difficult physical stuff because they didn't want me to hurt myself because I could sue them.
Well
The
played.
other people who signed the waiver, they didn't care what happened to them.
We need you to climb to the top of this pole and swing down over the alligators.
What?
We need you to climb to the top of this pole and swing down over the alligators. Not you, Bruce.
There was one of those that I kept in. But they wanted me to be in one of those gigantic boy in a bubble things. I said no because you fall down and you bash your knee and all kinds of stuff they wanted me to do. But some of the stuff, climbing up a pole, I said, okay, that I'll give you. I'll climb up a pole.
Yeah.
Because it was very impressive when I could do it because I couldn't believe I could haul my ass up there because I am a larger person.
Welcome to my world.
They were. It was. However, it was fun to be a reality star afterwards when the thing aired, because people would kind of come up to me and say, "Oh, we're rooting for you." It was all this kind of stuff, and it just did make me laugh. And it was a popular show back then. It was like 2006. So it was kind of fun to do, but I have resisted everything since then.
Yeah.
In that era, because I know how it's done.
Yeah.
There was a show, oh God, what's it called? It's on Lifetime, and it's about backstage at The Bachelor.
Oh,
it's like unscripted, I think it's called, and it is exactly the way they do reality TV.
Yeah.
They bamboozle everybody, and the people that they bring in are eager to be bamboozled.
Yeah,
Sucker born every minute.
I would like fame and I would like money, but at the same time, and I'm not trying to sound artsy and like I have this standards, but there's just some things, I'm like you. Tell me what you want out of me, and we'll do this. You know, don't.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and at a certain point, don't they cross the line? I mean, how real are these housewives after 6 years?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not real housewives anymore. They're reality TV stars who are performing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just basically a way to get a soap opera fix without the messy stories and dialogue. You cut right to the turning the table over on the bitch's head and hitting her with a wine bottle.
Yeah. And I tell you, you talked about Mama June. You'll get a kick out of this. You know, we only live about 5 or 6 miles from where they're at.
Oh, yes?
Yeah. Haven't met them.
I used to introduce myself as Honey Boo Boo because there was a startling resemblance for a period. But I have to say, I do get a kick out of Mama June, and the gay uncle, of course, was a big fan of. That one I tuned in only because I was sort of fascinated by the idea of the mother, not so much of the kid, but of this woman who was behind it, you know, which is like Gypsy. I mean, stage mothers are always great characters. Mm-hmm. And so I looked at it for that reason, and I thought the addition of the gay uncle was particularly inspired.
Yeah, I like the name of Poodle. Wasn't that his name on there?
Poodle, yes, Poodle, Uncle Poodle. Boy, Leslie Jordan's hoping they'll make a movie of that someday.
Oh, man.
Now that they're making a movie of Tiger King with Nick Cage, his first television project. He held out.
Hey, the great ones dig
Joe
deep.
Exotic. He held out from TV for all these years.
I actually did a video of Brad Exotic about a week ago. A friend of mine sent me. Have you seen the Bean Boozled jelly beans?
No, I don't.
Oh man, well these things, you spin a little spinner like the old board games, and it shows a color, and you pick that color jelly bean out, and it's either a really good jelly bean, like you know the buttered popcorn or whatever flavors Jelly Belly has, or it is a nasty flavor. There's one that's either chocolate pudding or canned dog food.
Yeah.
And it really tastes like what they say it does. And a friend of mine sent me an extreme version, which has no good ones in it. So I put on the blonde mullet and the Hawaiian shirt and the trashy sunglasses and got out on the back porch with the woods as my backdrop and informed the world about the dangers of tigers, lions, and donkeys as Brad Exotic while eating these things.
Fabulous. While eating this stuff.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hurt that they didn't call me for this movie because it was so awesome.
Yeah, listen, they haven't shot it. They have to wait for things to calm down before they can actually do anything.
I can hear Nicolas Cage now though. Carol freaking Baskin.
I mean, it's inspired casting because he can play that level of insanity.
Yes.
Really, better than anyone. I mean, and the physicality of it. I mean, he's a similar physical type, so it's that I thought was kind of amazing. Kate McKinnon as Carol Baskin, she'll do a great job. She's not physically that type, but she will certainly know how to play it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a really gifted comedian.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to keep my eye on this project. Oh yeah.
I think what was missing from Tiger King was the backstory of Don and Carol Baskin. I think he left. I don't think he's dead. I don't think she killed him. I think he wanted out. And the reason that he wanted out is what's missing from the show.
Yeah.
The thing that happened that caused him to just take a powder and arrange not to be found is the fascinating part of that for me, when that is ultimately revealed. Because I don't think she killed him and fed him to tigers.
No, I don't think she did. The dark part of me thinks, okay, that would be the way to get rid of somebody right there. But
she certainly does have. I mean, the means at her disposal, but would have to be very artfully done, not to leave, a trace. Yeah. But yeah, I think Netflix ought to go on ahead and commission a new show where it's kind of like I say, it focuses on her, the 5 or 6 part series, on that history. Wow.
I think they ought to.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my little blonde mullet wig, I look like her and Joe Exotic had a kid.
There's a concept.
There you go. There you go.
I like that she was punked by like low-level punkers. I mean, she went for the people who pretended to be Jimmy Fallon producers. It's hysterical. Then, of course, now she's saying, "Oh, I knew I was playing along." But why? Why would you play along with that? To what advantage is it for you to play along with that? Anyway.
Yeah.
So much for my sleuthing.
It happens. Yeah.
So, I have to go pick up food now.
Ah, well, outstanding. Well, what are we having for supper?
I don't know. I have to figure it out.
Okay.
I just know it has to be done.
Yep. I understand. Bruce, I've had a great time with you on this thing, man.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Yep.
Have fun. I'll look for your videos.
Yeah,
I'll look for the YouTubes.
Yeah, they're hilarious. Brad's comedy.
Right. Terrific.
Yep.